Hello, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. We're after tennis practice, but that was it, right? Am I gonna cough? No, that was a hiccup. Okay. I quickly jogged my way through campus, heading to the only place that Shuichi could still be. If he's not there, he surely will have left. He will have left for home. However, this conversation ends up going. Okay. I feel like having it through the phone would be really inappropriate, so I'd rather not. I need to see him face to face, even if that does make it much harder to keep my thoughts focused. I knock on the door, waiting around to see if there's any response. Other than a couple people passing by the hallway here and there, the entire place is lifeless and quiet. Then again, it is late in the day already. Most clubs will have already finished their activities. Crap. Could it be that the student council room is done for the day too? I quickly try to try on the door, only to find that it is locked. Oh, great. Suddenly, the entire trek over here feels like it was pointless. Great job, Yuichi. What now? Leaning my back against the wall, I let myself slide down until I'm sitting on the ground. There's a tightness in my chest that I can't quite describe. I can't tell if I can't tell if it's irritation or sadness or anything, really. It's just tight. Shuichi, I want to see you. Oh, great. Now I'm talking to myself. Regardless of the situation, that's never a good sign. I better head home and wash up. Maybe a hot shower will get my head out of this funk. Or, at the very least, I'll be in a funk without smelling funky. I drop my bag right next to the sofa, looking around the room to see if I can find any trace of other people. The lights were off and there was no shoes by the door, so I guess Aki isn't home yet. Probably still at his club. He had been working really hard lately. Maybe I should praise him for that. My entire body feels sore and stiff. I desperately want some hot water to help me relax and loosen up a bit. I need a bath. Getting into the bathroom, I begin to undress myself, folding my sweaty clothes and tossing them inside the laundry basket, which is halfway full by now. I open the faucet and I open the faucet on the tub, letting the water pour in to fill it up. Taking a seat by the washing area by the tub, I fill up a bucket with water and splash it on myself, feeling the warm water soak into my fur and run all the way down my body. Even though the water is perfectly warm, there's always moments where you shiver when it touches your body. Once I get used to the temperature difference, my entire body begins to relax. The heat from the water only lasts a few seconds before coming back down to body temperature. The air around me serving to cool me down rapidly. With a brush and some soap in hand, I scrub myself as clean as I possibly can. Reaching the spot between my shoulder blades is always tricky and a little uncomfortable, but I manage it. I wonder how much easier it would be to have someone else wash my back for me. Back when we were kids, Shuichi and I used to bathe together all the time. Of course, having little kids doing that sort of stuff means we probably horsed around more than we actually cleaned. Still, it's a very nice memory. Maybe it's something we could revisit at some point. Aki bathes with me on occasion, but less and less these days. Since he's my brother, I don't feel painfully awkward being naked around him, or seeing him naked for that matter. He's just my little brother. Even if I tried, I couldn't bring myself to feel weird about it. It really is nice to have someone to massage your back, though, although Aki is really lacking in the upper body strength department. Probably a bit too much to ask of someone his age, though. It takes me a good 20 minutes before I feel like I've scrubbed to a satisfactory degree. My fur is completely soaked and heavy, clinging tightly to my body and giving me the appearance of, well, a wet dog. It makes me feel like I'm twice as heavy too, and I probably don't look anywhere near as fluffy as usual. Shuichi used to tell me every now and again that I'm surprisingly fluffy for a guy. I suppose I do have a lot of fur. Aki is really similar to me in a lot of ways, but sometimes I catch myself thinking that he doesn't look quite as... I don't want to say delicate, because that feels like a dig towards myself, but no other word seems to come to mind. He definitely doesn't have as much fur as me. That much is a fact. When I was his age, I remember being so poofy, I had to trim my face pretty often, so it wouldn't get into my eyes. Luckily, it settled down as I got older, but I guess I still have a lot of fur. It used to bother me a bit, but I get taunted for looking a little girly, but when I think about it, Shuichi has always liked me just the way I am. That really makes me happy to think of. I'm going to try talking to him first thing tomorrow morning. Maybe showing up to school early, that way we'll actually have time to talk before class starts. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Before I can space out too much, I rinse myself of all the soap and shampoo until the water begins to run clear. If I want to space out, I can do it while soaking in the tub. Ah, this feels great. Warm baths are just the best. Okay. The sizzling of the grill echoes loudly in the otherwise silent kitchen. Even if I might not be in the greatest mood, I still need to make a dinner for everyone in the house. Aki sure as shit can't cook, so I can't really expect him to take care of myself. Meanwhile, Mom is, well, Mom. Other than seeing the food I leave for her in the fridge, gone the next day, there are times where I'm not even sure if she came home at all. But she works harder than anything to keep us taken care of, so I'll at least handle the burden while she's home. It's what I've been doing for the past 10 years anyway. No big deal. From the entrance hall, I hear the sound of a door opening and then quickly closing behind itself. Familiar footsteps echo closer and closer until a certain face pops up. I'm home. Welcome home. You're a little later than usual. Aki drops the bag next to me and walks up to the kitchen counter, leaning on it as he talks to me. Yeah, sorry. I lost track of time. We were doing practice matches today. That's good. Did you do well in them? It was okay, I guess. I won about half of them. Well, a 50% win rate isn't bad. What are you talking about? Of course it's bad. If I can't even win consistently locally, then I'll never qualify for larger competitions. Right now, my best record is qualifying for regionals and getting eliminated on round 1. Baby steps. That's a good tennis anime. You don't need to take the whole world by storm in a single try. Easy for you to say. Aki suddenly cocks his head to the side, scanning my face intently. It's definitely a little bit unsettling. What's up there, buddy? Are you doing good now? Huh? You look like you were having a rough time over the weekend. I did? You spent most of it either frowning or sighing or locked up in your room. Oh, great. I'm apparently as easy to read as can be. I'm fine. Everyone knows I'm fine actually means I'm fine. You're looking too much into it. Oh, it doesn't... Wait. It never actually means, yeah. Come on, I'm your brother. You can talk to me, can't you? Somehow, I really don't like the idea. Even if my mind logically knows that there's no way Aki would ever be unkind or homophobic, I still have a warning sign ringing inside my head whenever I think about telling him. Hell, telling Saya was less nerve-wracking than Aki. And I say that knowing full well that he doesn't have it in him to be cruel. I guess I had a fight with Shuichi. Or maybe not with Shuichi himself, more like with Shuichi's dad. There, just as vague as it can possibly be. No need to bring up our relationship into the conversation at all. Huh, that doesn't sound like it would suck, but... that does sound like it would suck, but... Why would you get so down over something so basic? Sometimes your lack of tact astounds me. Or maybe innocence would be the better way to describe it. Just apologize and things will be good, no? You know, you're so mature most of the time that's... Sometimes I forget, you're still just a little kid. That sort of naivety is exactly what I'd expect from a kid his age, after all. Some people don't want to accept apologies. It doesn't always work out for the best. So you did apologize? Well, that answer doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. God damn it, I have a good point. I'm right. I can't let a little technicality like this invalidate me completely. Sometimes people don't deserve an apology. Now you're backtracking. I'm allowed this. Yeah, I'm sure you are. And in the meantime, you'll continue being upset. Well? Have you, talked to Shuichi at all about this? We kinda haven't talked since it happened. Oh, it's not like you guys to not speak at all for so long. You tell me about it. Sometimes I forget just how used I am to seeing his face and talking to him almost every day. Even when we're both really busy, we always manage to make some time for each other, even if it was just to say a quick hi. I feel really uneasy being like this, like something is really wrong. I hate that feeling. Yeah, I'm gonna try talking to him about it tomorrow morning. At the very least, I don't like feeling like I can't talk to him. Yeah, that's probably for the best. That's definitely a few frustrations I need to air out before things can go back to normal. That's enough of that, though. Go clean yourself up. Dinner will be ready by the time you're done. I left the tub filled for you. Yeah, thanks. Aki walks out of the kitchen, his steps echoing as he moves up the stairs. Aki, thanks for hearing me out a little bit. You're the best little brother. Ah. Okay. The number of students passing by the gate is very small, even for this time of the morning. Just to make sure there'd be no way I'd miss Shuichi, I dropped by even before the gates opened and just hung around them, waiting for him to arrive. I also might not be able to sleep much, which may have contributed to me being so early. Regardless, I lazily watched the few students that dropped by early in the morning while keeping my eyes open for a certain husky. Checking the time on my phone, I see that that's around the time when he'd be showing up for class. He'll probably be come by any time now. Man, he's gonna be really surprised to see me here before him. The last time it happened was by complete accident, and he still looks so shell-shocked. Just thinking about, I can't help but pout a bit. It's like he has no expectations of me at all. Maybe I should start working a little bit harder to teach him a lesson. Bet he'd be real annoyed if I turned out the higher score than him on our next midterm. I'd love to see that look on his face. I'm sure it'd look lovely. But then again, he always does look lovely. What am I doing? I'm daydreaming about embarrassing stuff instead of paying attention. God damn it, Shuichi. My head is filled with so much of you lately. I'm definitely going to make him pay for it soon. There he is. I see a familiar figure walking towards the gates, with his eyes glued to the ground, his bag slung over his shoulder and held behind his back. His tail switching meekly beside him, almost falling between his legs. I don't even need to get close to understand what Saya meant. He absolutely looks like a zombie. Morning.
Morning.
He mumbles an unenthusiastic answer back at me, taking a few more steps past me as if it were nothing. Then, as if it begun to click in his head, he stops in his tracks. And turns around, he stares at me with a blank look on his face for a few seconds before.
Ugh, you!
Geez, took you long enough. What are you doing spacing out this hard first thing in the morning?
What are you, I mean...
Eloquent. You're sure to be, valedictorian.
How are you up this early?
Same way as always. I walked.
You know that's not what I meant.
I was hoping you and I could talk, so I decided to get here early, before you'd get here. Is that alright?
Oh, I guess that makes sense. Sure, we can talk.
Let's walk a little over there. I don't want people to overhear us. I quickly point to a corner a few meters away from the main gate. Still, by the front of the school, but far enough that no one can just pass by and hear us. And it's an open area, so if anyone starts getting close, we'll see them.
Sure.
Shuichi flashes me a straightened smile, pressing his lips so tightly together that they form a thin line. Once we're there, I take a few deep breaths. I've always rehearsed what I wanted to say since last night. Now all that's left to say it. Now all that's left is saying it. When I feel ready, I turn around again, seeing Shuichi staring at me expectantly. It's pretty clear to see that I'm not the only one feeling awkward and uncomfortable in the situation. I think we need to talk about what happened last Friday. I measure my words and my tone of voice, trying to speak as neutrally as possible. Shuichi nods slowly, listening intently. I'm sorry to have put you in such a horrible position. I was trying my hardest not to cause any problems for you, but I messed up anyway. I'm really, really sorry for what I did.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have said anything. I knew speaking up was the wrong was the wrong to do. Even as I did so, but I let my temper get the best of me.
I don't want to say it's all right, but I do understand why you did it. If anything, at least I at least appreciate you getting so heated up for my sake. It's nice to have you care about me.
Of course I care about you. I mean, come on, it's you.
That's really sweet of you to say.
Oh, excuse me. I do still think he was being unreasonable, but there's probably a better way to go about it than raising a huge stink over it. So, while I don't think my intentions were wrong, I went the wrong way about it.
That's very fair.
Come on, is that all you have to say? You're being really passive about the whole thing.
Well, I don't really want to say. I don't really know what to say. I honestly don't think it's worth it to make a huge fuss over this. Dad can be really harsh, but I can safely say that he has my best interests in mind.
Do you actually think that? Your fake smiles aren't going to fool me anymore. In fact, I've since realized that you have a horrible habit of brushing off your own troubles and focusing on other people instead. That's a terrible habit to have, and one that's just going to cause you pain unless you fix it. So, I have to do my best to help with that. That's going to be my duty as your boyfriend. Do you really believe Do you really believe that, or are you just trying to convince yourself?
Die.
Look, I know I'm poking my nose where it doesn't belong, and I'm sorry for this. My rational mind tells me that I shouldn't be pushing my way into your family issues, but I hate it. I really hate it. So can't I do something about it? Or at least can't you be honest with me? Shuichi stares at me quietly, a frown on his face. He shifts his weight around from one foot to the other, looking around as he thinks over his words.
I'm trying. I just have a hard time communicating like that. To be fair, to be honest, if you hadn't talked me right now, I probably would have carried on like this. Not talking to you because I'm too scared to have that conversation. Part of me was really afraid you were going to break up with me after what happened.
What? No, of course not.
I'm glad to hear. I was really scared of you.
It's alright. It's just a crappy situation to be in.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out, right? I'm here for you.
Thank you.
It feels really good to have been able to get it off my chest. Although I admit that it felt more like I was talking at Shuichi instead of to him. For the time being, maybe you should look into a way for you to spend more time out of the house.
For the time being, that's way too big of an ask for you to call it that.
Not necessarily. What if you started spending a few nights a week at your mom's? She still lives in your childhood home, right? That means you still have your room there. Shuichi chokes, his eyes going wide once he hears the words I have to say. Immediately upon hearing them, he takes an instinctive step away from me, hugging his arms close to his body and looking away.
I can't.
Come on, I know you have your reservations, but don't you think it's about time?
She probably wouldn't want to see me.
She's your mother. You know there's no way that's true. You're just making excuses again. Besides, I'm sure Hitoko would enjoy seeing more of you, don't you think?
I guess.
Don't sound so meek about it. What's even holding you back at this point?
I just. Can't we talk about this later? I don't think now's a good time.
What? No, we can't talk about it later. We've already gotten this far, and it's not like this wasn't a difficult conversation to begin with. It's better to say everything that needs to be said instead of letting it loom over our heads. I know I'm not going to be able to feel at ease until then.
But
just tell me already why you're so hesitant to do it. I'm sure it can't be a big deal.
I told you before, I feel guilty.
Why guilty? You're not the reason they got divorced. You do know that, right?
I agreed to go with Dad after, without even being asked. I chose it of my own free will. Mom wanted to get custody of both of us, but I knew there was no way that was going to happen, so I just chose to go. Because I wanted Hitoka to stay with Mom, no matter what. Still, I also know it hurt her a lot. I basically gave up. She wanted me there, and I said no.
That's just a bad situation. It's not your fault.
That's easy for you to say.
I don't know what I should do. I feel the need to say something, but I have no idea what. The whole thing sounds absurd to me, but for Shuichi, that's the reality he lives in. Should I even push the issue? Wouldn't he just get mad at me if I did? I still think you should at least try. Isn't that all you can really do? Just try your best? I'm sure she'll be happy to see you again. At the very least, I can't imagine her ever being angry at you. She probably misses you more than anyone else.
Don't say that. Please don't say things like that.
All I'm saying is...
Stop.
Why are you yelling at me? Shuichi raises his voice so suddenly that I nearly jump back and out of reflex. The fur around my neck bristles up and stands at attention.
I asked you to stop. I don't want to hear this.
Come on. Why are you getting all mad all of a sudden?
I don't want to hear it.
This is bad. Shuichi's tail is thrashing behind him. He's usually not the type to get angry this quick. Is this a touchy subject for him? I hadn't even considered the possibility that it could be. I suppose it makes sense, but still. Can I really just leave things as they are? If I do, then nothing will really change, will it? However, even if I say that to convince myself that I'm doing the right thing, just one look at his face is enough to let me know. I'm seriously trampling over Shuichi's boundaries here. Whether I think this is what's best for him or not, isn't any justification. In fact, I might just make it even worse. Aren't I criticizing his dad for being controlling and saying that it's what's best isn't an excuse? I'm not any better if I do this. Yeah, alright. I'll drop it. I'm sorry for being so pushy. Shuichi looks away from me. For a second, I think he might still be upset, but then I notice his expression softening little by little. I think I might need to give him some space. Honestly, this was a really heavy conversation, so to have so early in the morning. And even if I had the time to mentally prepare myself for it, Shuichi sure didn't know. I just caught him by surprise and forced him into it. When I think about it like that, it's pretty obvious that I need to back off and give him some space. And honestly, I wouldn't mind having a breakdown myself. All the exhaustion from not sleeping is starting to catch up with me. I might just ditch the first few periods and take a nap on the roof. No. I promised myself I'd do better in school, damn it. I need to teach this big lug a lesson.
Why do you suddenly look so fired up?
Don't worry about it.
Right. Either way, I need some time to clear my head. Is that alright?
Of course. Thank you for even listening to me in the first place.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't upset him too much. Okay. I think I'll end the part here, so hopefully I'll see you all around.